Hey guys and girls, this is Wager Detective here, and we're going to cap this game right now, the Nationals versus the Guardians. Before we get into that, be sure to follow Wager Detective on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. Thank you for following me. I appreciate all my fans, future fans, present fans. I appreciate all of you guys. Let's get into this cap. Nationals taking on the Guardians. The Nationals this year are 28-27 on the year, 6-4 in their last 10, 18-11 on the road this year. They're 9-8 in one-run games and 7-3 in interleague play. In the last 10 games versus the Guardians, they are 4-6, 7 over, 3 under. They're scoring 4.9 runs per game to 5.6 for their opponents. And the last 5 at Cleveland, they are 3-2, 2 over, 3 under, 4.4 runs per game to 3. Now, the Nationals this year, they are road night games, they are 4-5 on the year, 8 over, 1 under. In the road night games this year, the Nationals are scoring 6.11 runs per game to 5.11 for their opponent. In road night games this year, the Nationals, before the All-Star break versus the American League, are 4-5. So before the All-Star break, last 9, in night games versus the American League on the road, they're 4-5, 8 over, 1 under, 6.11 runs per game, 5.11 for their American League counterparts. Now, the Nationals' road night games this year, they are 9-6, 11 over and 4 under in those games. In the Nationals' 15 road night games this year, they are scoring 5.86 runs per game to 4.4 for their opponents. That is an 88-66 run advantage for them. The Nationals are 5-3 in the middle game of the series this year on the road, scoring 3.87 runs per game to 4.28, comes out to 8.12 runs per game average. And in the Nationals' last 9 games overall, they are 5-4, 6 over, 3 under. That total that's set tonight, which is 7.5. In the Nationals' last 9 games overall, they're scoring 5.11 runs per game to 4.77. That comes out to a 9.88 runs per game average. If we look at who's on the mound, Cade Cavalli will be on the mound tonight. The Nationals are 2-3 in his last 5 starts. On the year-long average, on the year-long record, the Nationals are 3-8 this year when Cade Cavalli starts. In Cavalli's last 5 starts, 29 innings pitched, 29 hits, 12 earned runs, 7 walks, 33 strikeouts, and 3 home runs given up. That comes out to a 3.72 ERA, 1.24 whip, and he's only giving up 0.93 home runs per 9 over his last 5 outings. Okay, so this year also, Cavalli, the Nationals are 0-4 this year when Cavalli starts on 4 days rest, 2 over, 2 under. He's pitched 21.2 innings, 22 hits, 7 earned runs, 0 home runs, 2 walks, and 28 Ks for Cavalli on 4 days rest this year. That's a 2.91 ERA, 1.11 whip, and he's striking out 11.6 batters per 9. So if we look at this part of the cap for the National side, they are 4-6, last 10 versus the Guardians. They're 18-11 on the road, very, very good. They're 7-3 versus the interleague. They're 5-4 in their last 9, and road night games this year, they are 9-6, 11 over, 4 under. So there's a lot to be looking good for them. I don't like the fact that the Nationals are 0-4 on Cavalli's 4 days rest this year, 0-4, but they are 2-3 in his last 5. And his ERA, his last 5 outings, is respectable, 3.72 ERA, 1.24 whip. And he's striking out a lot of batters, 33 strikeouts in the last 29 innings pitched. Very, very good. Let's get into the Guardians part of the cap here. The Guardians are 32-24 on the year. They're 8-2 in their last 10. They're 14-6 in their last 20. They're 7-7 in one-run games. And they're 10-9 in interleague action this year. So the Nationals playing better in the interleague play, 7-3, whereas the Guardians are 10-9. Now, if we look at the Guardians, they are 7-8 in home night games this year, 8 over and 7 under. They're scoring 3.86 runs per game to 4.2 for their opponents. Comes out to 8.06 runs per game average. In their last 9 overall, the Guardians are 7-2, 3 over, 6 under. They're scoring 3.77 runs per game to 2.77 for their opponents. That comes out to 6.54 runs per game average. At home, in night home games this year versus the American League, they are 3-7, 4 over, 6 under, and 4 over and 6 under. So pretty interesting. Maybe we have to scratch this. They're 4-9. What did I do here? Home night versus the National League. I have a stat here that says 4-9. The Guardians are 3.07 to 4.61. I'm not sure what that stat line's for. But home night games versus the National League. I guess that's before the All-Star break. Not looking good there, and whatever that 4-9 record is, I'm not sure what that is, but they're scoring 3.07 to 4.61 in that split. In the middle game of the series this year, at home, the Guardians are 4-3, 2 over, 5 under. They're scoring 3 runs a game to 2.28 for their opponents. They've scored 2 or less runs 4 times in 7 home middle games of a series. Okay? Their opponents have scored 2 or less 5 times in the home middle game of the series for the Guardians this year. Now, if we get into the pitching, take a look here. The Guardians are 9-2 in Cantillo starts this year. He'll be on the mound today. 8 over and 3 under in those 11 starts by Cantillo. And the last game did go under. On the year, in his 11 starts, 56 innings pitched, 47 hits, 27 walks. He has a 1.32 whip and 8.19 Ks per 9 for Cantillo. The Guardians are 5-0 in Cantillo's last 5 starts, 3 over, 2 under. And in his last 5 starts, he has a 3.16 ERA, 1.32 whip, and he's only striking out 5.97 batters per 9 over his last 5 outings. Something to keep in mind there. In Cantillo's 9-2 record this year, where the Guardians are 9-2, Guardians are 9-2 when Cantillo starts this year. In those 9 wins, the combined record is 219 to 267 for their opponents that they face. So that's something to keep a mind on there. The Guardians have only beat 2 teams, have only beat 2 teams that are above 500 in the 9 games that they've won when Cantillo starts this year. So only 2 teams. I think the Nationals have good bats. Another good stat for Cantillo, the Guardians are 6-0 this year when Cantillo starts on 4 days rest. 32 innings pitched, 23 hits, 9 earned runs, 2 home runs, 16 walks, and 30 Ks. That comes out to a 2.53 ERA, a 1.22 whip, and 0.56 home run per 9. Another stat that leads me for the Guardians is, in this cap, is the Guardians are 4-1 the last 5 times that they've won on the road when Cantillo starts, and then his next start is at home. So that's pretty good. 6-0 on 4 days rest. They're 5-0 in his last 5 starts. They just got beat yesterday pretty bad by the Nationals. The Nationals have not won a series versus the Guardians in their last 3 meetings with the Guardians, and if they win this game today, they would have won the series. So they're 0-3 in their last 3 series, winning the series versus the Guardians. They're 4-6 in their last 10 versus the Guardians. This cap is leaning towards this. So again, all these things that are measured up, Wager Detective is leaning towards the Guardians. I know the Nationals have looked good, but another stat that I found, after the Guardians have scored 10 runs this year, they've had a game where the next game was 2-10 and 2-3. So those were a couple stats that I found on the Nationals after they scored 10 plus this year. They've scored 2 max in 2 games, 2 runs per game max in their 2 games after they've scored 10 plus on the road. So Wager Detective is going to call. Let's take a look here. Wager Detective, let's take a look at the money line here. Okay, let me see. I do agree with the fact that the Guardians should be favored here, and the money's moving towards the Nationals. I mean, the question is, here's the main issue. Does the Guardians continue to do what they're doing behind Cantillo, or does 5-0, Guardians are 5-0 in his last 5 starts, they're 6-0 when he starts on 4 days rest this year. he doesn't miss a lot of bats, so that's the problem. I do lean the over in this game. I think it does get over 7.5, but I just feel as though, for all the metrics, I do believe that the Guardians are the play here. So Wager Detective is going to call the Guardians money line minus 134, and for the game to go over. This is Wager Detective. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. Today is May 26th, 2026. Wager Detective is calling the Guardians money line minus 134 and the game to go over 7.5. I thank you for listening, and more importantly than everything else, I love all my fans. I'll talk to you soon.